Hi, everybody. I wanted to hop on here and do a quick video explaining why I chose to resign from the College of Naturopaths of Ontario in March 31st, 2022. So, as many of you know, I resigned. I sent an email out quite some time back explaining this, but I wanted to explain to you personally, so I have to go through it one-on-one with people. So I thought I'd do a video and just give the overall picture of why I made the decision that I made. As I go through this, I am going to share with you my personal journey. I am not speaking on behalf of the college. I'm not speaking on behalf of the profession. None of this is designed to provide any specific treatment for anything that I'm going to be talking about. Is just to give you an overall picture of why I made the decision I did to leave the college. Now, first off, I am not out of alignment in any way with naturopathic medicine. I still adore the principles of naturopathic medicine, think it is incredibly beneficial for everyone dealing with any kind of health issues, whether you've got some kind of chronic illness, whether you want to improve your health, whether you're just trying to optimize your health. I think the answers to many of those lie within the principles of naturopathic medicine. So I'm very much in alignment with naturopathic medicine. What I found increasingly that I was out of alignment with was with the actual college that governs the profession of naturopathic medicine. And that part I would like to talk a little bit more detail around. Over these past 2 years, I think we were all given a big opportunity to reflect on what really means a lot to us. So that can be different for everybody, but I think there's been an opportunity for us to really figure out what means something to us and what doesn't mean so much to us that maybe once we thought did. So for example, I remember talking to different patients, and one of them particularly, when she couldn't go to work for a period of time because of the COVID restrictions, that she found that her relationship with her kids was better than it ever had been. The spark in her marriage got reignited, and she was happier than she had ever been. And then when she had to go back to work, she was going through anxiety and panic attacks at the thought of going back into something that she was now no longer in alignment with. So for her, she started to make different decisions. She got a very firsthand feeling of what resonated and what did not. I think a lot of people got an experience like this over the past 2 years. I know for me, the things that really became paramount and of great importance to me were concepts of things like health freedoms, the right to choose, body sovereignty, to have a choice of what you decide to put into your body or not into your body, based on your own individuality, right? Based on who you are and all of the things that make up who you are, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of those different pieces. And just the concept in general of individualized treatment. And this is a founding principle in naturopathic medicine. It's a part of our oath, the individualized treatment. And I know this firsthand. Anybody that's been a clinician knows that there's no one treatment that serves everybody. We even see this in benign substances, things like vitamin C and magnesium. Some people do great and some people still aggravate from them. And those are things with a very huge window of tolerance. When you start to get into medications that have a much narrower window of tolerance, there's definitely even more potential harm that can happen. There can be benefit, but there can also be harm. So take something like penicillin. Penicillin can be life-saving for certain people, it can be useless for others, and it can be outright deadly for a smaller group of people. So there's no one treatment for everybody. This is why I think that tenet of individualized treatment is such an important one to adhere to. Now, over my journey over the past couple of years, one of the things that I became very aware of and that became very evident to me was freedom of speech. If you are acting as an individual, you have freedom of speech. You can more or less say what you want. Now, you might be censored, but you have the right to say it for the most part. As soon as you are a part of a college, your individual freedom of speech no longer applies. You now function within a group. And as a part of that group, you are now technically like a spokesperson for that group. So you cannot say anything outside of what that governing body or that college deems as acceptable. And that's all written out very strictly as far as what you can or cannot say. Now, for the most part, that's not usually an issue because most people, to be a part of a college like naturopathic medicine or physiotherapy or chiropractic or whatever profession you want to look at, most of the time you've spent 8 years or more just to get into that college, to be able to practice what you want to practice. You're practicing something that you generally really resonate with and you believe in. So most of the time, there's not really an issue with that. Where the problem happens is that if you are no longer in alignment with what is being governed by that college, now you hit a moral dilemma. And for me, I hit a very strong moral dilemma. And this wasn't just myself. I think what you're seeing is that many healthcare practitioners across the globe all hit different moral dilemmas around this over the past couple of years. One of the things that was difficult for me was I took our oath very seriously when I became a naturopathic doctor. So I was practicing as a naturopathic doctor for 20 years in Ontario. I graduated back in 2002. And I remember when we stated the oath and sort of swore by the oath. And our naturopathic oath, I think, is incredibly powerful and really important to adhere to. And our oath states, first, we do no harm. We cooperate with the healing powers of nature. We address the fundamental causes of disease. We heal the whole person through individualized treatment, and we teach the principles of healthy living and preventative medicine. That's at the core of what naturopathic medicine stands for. Now, what I learned as well is that our oath is more of a moral guidance. It's more of like our moral compass, that if we stray too far, we look at that to try and come back to and use that to become the best versions of ourselves within our profession. But it actually holds no legal weight. Naturopathic doctors are not in any way adherent to have to follow those principles. What we do have to follow is our code of ethics. And our code of ethics is basically based around standards of practice. And standards of practice are essentially how the college says you follow standards of practice because that is the best way that you can serve the community in a safe and effective way. Again, most of the time that's not an issue. Most of the standards of practice are usually pretty good. The problem is that if the standard of practice that has been given out by your college is out of alignment with you, or from my perspective, became out of alignment with the oath, at least in the way that I understand the oath and what that means to me. So again, I hit a moral dilemma between what am I going to do? Do I start to talk about certain things that to me felt incredibly important to talk about and share because I thought it was going to be of great assistance for people? Or do I stay quiet and feel kind of wrenched up inside knowing that I'm not able to speak about things because I run the risk of being investigated for professional misconduct? One of the things that came about early on in the pandemic that I found really quite disturbing and uncomfortable was